Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you, honey.
How does it feel celebrating here in New York?
Wonderful being with my son, celebrating Mother's Day in New York. Fantastic. Okay, all right. You need
Everybody thinks we're at home. Oh, but who are they to judge us? Simply cause our hair is long. Oh, you know we've got to find a way. Bring some understanding here today.
My mama is from Phoenix, Arizona, where she grew up with her 3 younger siblings and her 2 parents, and this is typically not a place where you would find Asian people. And that would prove to be true because she ended up moving to San Francisco with her family into the projects, where she would, as I just learned from this past visit, go out and dance in garages with her friends, where there would be someone spinning records and beer for those under 21 kids. My affinity for 70s and 80s music comes from her. Marvin Gaye, Earth, Wind and Fire, Bee Gees, way too much Bee Gees. And this affinity would grow from the everyday pickup and drop off from school in my mom's Toyota Corona, not Corolla. That 96.5 radio station was always on, but the occasional "shit, what the hell?" from my mama reacting to San Francisco drivers would kind of teach me how to cuss later in life. Out of both my parents, I'm more like my mama. Determined, stubborn as hell, and we wear our emotions on our sleeves. I even got my hairline from her with this widow's peak. And we all know that we are a composite of those who have come before us, and our family is in our bones. So those characteristics that I share with my mom sound pretty sweet on paper, but because we were so similar, it has actually led to a lot of strife, conflict, and strain in our relationship. And for about 15 years of my life, from 7 to 22, things just kept constantly declining. And things did get bad at one point. And this love letter for my mom doesn't come if it weren't for those 15 difficult years. It was in high school when my mom and I had the most problems, one of which was about my friends. Now mind you, before high school I didn't really have friends. I struggled with my social skills and I was bullied a lot. So when I started making friends, I wanted to have them over at the house and I wanted to hang out with them. But my mom would never let them come over because 1, she thought that they were drug dealers, or 2, she was afraid that they steal our tax documents. Which was absurd for me to hear because my friends and I just did dumb stuff in our neighborhood. We didn't do any drugs. We didn't steal tax documents. We definitely don't even understand it now. My friends microwaved an apple as a joke during AP English. Like, these guys are not going to cause us any harm in our financial situation or our neighborhoods. And if I'm going to be completely honest, I did the worst thing in our friend group because I led the biggest cheating ring in our high school's history with over 100 students coming up with convoluted ways of acing 2 classes. And drugs and alcohol are not great for that age, but I was out here committing white collar crimes as a 14-year-old, so that didn't help my case with my relationship with my mom. There was just so much fighting and problems between the 2 of us for years about what I wanted to do, about what she wanted me to become, and we just both wanted to be right. So all of this pretty much surmounted and crescendoed in 2018 when I decided to drop out of school to do basically this. And that conversation was the most venomous conversation I've ever had with any adult, let alone my own mother. We said a lot of regretful things in that phone call. And when we hung up, I was ready to never see her again. You know, looking back on everything I did and said to her during all that time, the reason I probably kept that combative behavior up was not actually because I wanted to be right, but it was because I just wanted her to say, "I'm sorry." Because at that point in my life, I've never heard those words from her. And because of that, I felt like she never respected me. And because half of me is her, I kept going with my way because I didn't want to concede to someone like that. It took me some time to realize and see where this was going to take me. I knew she wasn't going to buckle, so I had to be the one, no matter how painful and wrong it felt, to apologize first. We met in a food court. to talk face to face. It honestly was the best possible location because neither of us would ever yell in public with all those people around. And I kid you not, when I was sitting across the table from my mom, this woman who gave birth to me, raised and held me from when I was young, felt like nobody to me. Like even more foreign than a stranger. It was honest to God an awful feeling. I apologize first for everything I said over the phone. And for the first time in my life when I was 22 years old, I heard my mom say those words I always wanted to hear. I'm sorry. And this, my friends, was where my genuine love and respect for my mother began. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Thank you, honey.
How does it feel celebrating here in New York?
Wonderful. Being with my son, celebrating Mother's Day in New York. Fantastic. Okay, all right. You need to change.
Close the door to my very soul. You're the light in my deepest, darkest hour.
Why are you guys so quiet now?
Boy again. Camera. Never got a camera when I was young. Right now, Santa Claus.
When you know you're down inside, I really do.
Remember when you used to take me to Bart early in the morning with you at work and I had like 2 little Eggo waffles in a plastic bag all the time?
Yes, I remember that.
And then
This
like
is just like Bart.
this is kind of like Bart, and like I was too small, so like I would always like fall behind you. You'd be like, "Oh, Christopher, you better hurry up."
Yes, because I didn't want to be late for work.
Oh yeah.
When they all should let us be. Even though break the music, come on, say it. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools, breaking us down, yeah. When they all should let us be. We belong. Come on, let's say it one more time. Y'all help us. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? I really need to learn. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools.